Buddy the dog. YouTube statistics say that videos that start with Buddy the dog do better. That's what the viewers want. Viewers want Buddy the dog, don't they, Buddy the dog? Sure. Anyway, we've been getting more new parts in the mail for different projects, so we're gonna get to working on stuff right after this. All right, welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. Good news is that our one tire we fixed is still up, so we did good there. Never got to that yet, but we might throw that in this video. I don't know. We'll see what we get to. But I think it rained a lot since we fixed that. It rains about every night at different times, but anyway. We've been getting, I try to keep ordering parts for different projects, and then we jump back and forth so that there's always something that we can be doing. But I got this nice hunk of metal, providing that nature didn't already ruin it. I painted it yesterday, and it looks pretty snazzy. And if you don't know what this is a new air stack for this G. And we're gonna put that on there because I think that'll be more better than the one that looks like it was JB welded or whatever. I don't know. And it also looks like, what it looks like is they probably cut it down and shortened it and then welded it, and then they got into a mess and couldn't get themselves out of it, so they just, I don't know. They just kept welding, slathered on, I don't know. But we're gonna slowly make this better. One way or the other, friends. This is gonna be better when we're done. Also, I noticed that for whatever reason, they must have not had the appropriate amount of washers, because we've got, looks like 2 inappropriate lock washers. Then we've got 2 flat washers on one side. I don't know. We're gonna see what we get into, but we're gonna have all the same hardware when we're done. I don't operate like that. I can't stand having all different fasteners on the same thing. I mean, like sheet metal is a big one when you work on stuff for people. Sheet metal, they'll have all different types of fasteners, and it's so frustrating. Almost as frustrating as dropping the same socket 54 times while you're taking off the stuff, you know? That's pretty frustrating. Pretty frustrating. Probably time to go exchange this ratchet if they still do that. Get one that actually holds. It kind of holds for a second and then it lets loose. That's okay. We'll be done in a minute, so we'll make her go somehow. Oh, well, that one I lost. Oh, I see where it landed though. Come in. I don't know what I'll find under here, if this one will also have a piece of pipe that sticks up a little bit through this cast block, or if it's just going to be flush. I don't really know. Never had one of these off before. And there's our answer. It is. Yeah. All right. There is some lock washers. Doesn't it look bizarre with one of them taken off? It does, friends, it does. I don't know, maybe at one time there was a gasket under that, I don't know. But That's something to look up later and worry about. I mean, basically this is just the pre-cleaner, so, and keep the water out, you know, type situation. It's even got little holes to weep out water if it gets in there, you know. He says as he can't get it, all the bolts started. Also, he sees that he got one run in his paint job. Doesn't that suck when you get one run? But if you think I'm gonna start over, you're wrong. It's just gonna have a run in it. It still looks better than what was on there. Come on, baby. Baby doll. Come on. Wow. Oh, that wasn't good. Get it right away? I think it's gonna go. This says, it said that this is made in USA, so I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it much matters anymore. But yeah. Oh, sure. Oh. Friends, I sucker punched you right off. Punched you right off of the tractor. Okay, let's double check here. Tight. Tight. There we go. Get rid of this. By get rid of it, I mean just throw it over my truck. That is a lot more snazzy, friends. And if I take this off of there, they should look even. They should be 24 inches tall. Looks kind of like a wild rabbit, doesn't it? But those two long ears sticking up. But that's the way that they're supposed to look. And yeah, we didn't. That shorty business was killing it. I just couldn't get there. I don't know. I guess you could live with it maybe, but I couldn't, you know. Look at how much difference is there. Also, I wonder if this, well, it would have had to have been off of a G, because I don't think any of the others had this bolt thing. But my new one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cutouts, and this one's got 4. I wonder if this is like for a later, like a 720, or maybe a whatever. Did they have above? I don't think they had. Did they have above the hood air stacks? I don't know. I don't think they did. I thought that the only one that had the twin side-by-side deals was the G, but I might be off on that. Doesn't really matter. I like it. Whether that's right or wrong, it's better than what I had. So that does that. That's one thing off of our list, off of our pile of stuff. Now we can continue the theme. We can put more stuff on this deal. I'm gonna go over here. I got the stuff right over here. I got this light bar, which I don't know, is it? It needs to get clamped to that. I don't know if the U-bolt that I have is, I'd say it's not going to be, it's going to be 5/8 is what it takes to take those loose. So I'll have to get that, but it should just mount in that neighborhood somewhere, you know. Yeah. I'll get a wrench. Come on. I guess I should look at historical photographs to figure out where precisely to mount this. I mean, I don't know that it probably mounts about there, because the lights will actually stick up. Let's go do some of this on evenness, you know, back and forth. Oh, I just realized something else that's gonna do. Tightening one side or the other makes the bar turn ever so slightly. So, I mean, we want it even. We want it even. All right, so there's that. Then what's going to happen is these will obviously go away. I've got original style headlights ordered, but there's some clamps that go on here, and that's also a sad story. I learned as it gets windy and then you can't hear anything my voice says. But what did I do with those sad clamps? So me, a regular old moron, gets on the Google machine and Googles, you know, John Deere G light clamps or whatever, and I get these, and then I find out they don't fit the tube. Then I get to looking up and find out there's another part number, and it says it only fits the G. So apparently I made a boo-boo, and apparently people are proud of the correct ones because the correct ones are $25 a piece, friends. So I guess Ross is gonna pay 50 bucks for a couple clamps and then have these left over for nothing. You know, I'll use them someday on something, but kind of sad, isn't it, that you need to read the fine print, because apparently I don't know what these would fit. I mean, I guess maybe these fit like the A's and B's that were, because I think they had A's and B's that were this kind of setup. You know, I know they had that kind of steering post and stuff, but I never paid attention to the light bar, but I assume it's probably the same. Now, like my later style B is different, and we can go look at that. Tractor, where are you? There you are. I never even finished wiring up the lights on this either. These are 100% original though, but I did put 12-volt bulbs in them. But see, the later one, like this one, it has those stupid driller bees. I hate them. But anyway, not to be ADD distracted, but the later style that has this sort of, what do you want to call that? Steering pedestal deal. It uses threaded in pieces of pipe. Then they pierced a hole in it, which you can't see. I guess you can underneath. They pierced a hole in to go the wires, and then they just flattened the end of the tube and drilled a hole in it. So you didn't need clamps. But anyway, I guess what I'm saying is that these are probably for earlier style A's and B's, G's, C's, D's, F's, and so on and so forth. I don't know. I'm not a John Deere guy. I got 3 of them now. That's the most I know about them. But yeah. So I'm just looking at this, taking it all in, you know. Part of my enjoyment of having tractors is not taking them places or hauling them all over the country. Part of it is just standing here looking at my stuff and thinking, that's nice, you know. So that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at this thinking, that's nice. And I could stand here for like 45 minutes probably just thinking about it, you know. So I might do that. Probably not though. I got plenty to do today. I do notice though, like I said in the other thing, on this one I put that step on the front of the axle, which makes it super more like the right way to get on, but the problem is on that other one, the flywheel's open, and I would definitely get myself wrapped up in that, so I'm not doing that. But you can see, like, when the fenders are on, then the step is going to be off to the side, so you're going to have to, like, I don't know. And I probably will eventually take those brackets off that rock shaft on that other one, because we don't need those on, and they're kind of in my way. I don't know. I'm not happy about the little bees not only ruining my lumber, but then putting sawdust all over everything. We need to take that out and wash it someday when we have nothing else to do, you know. But we need to go down and get our fenders for the G, and then it'll have a set of fenders like this. And then when you park them side by side, they'll look like they're brothers, you know. That's what I want to do. So then I'll probably look at it and think, you know what? A guy ought to have an A to complete that set, so that you had an A, B, G. That'll probably happen one day. Wouldn't mind to have a D or an R, or what's the other ones in there? An M. Wouldn't mind to have an M. Had an MT for a while, and it was a sweet little runner. I should have probably not got rid of it either, especially since I heard what happened to it. The guy I traded it to, somebody came in there and said how much to paint that tractor up real nice, and he paid him to do that, and then the guy took it out and parked it in his flower bed, and that's where it sits today. So that's kind of sad that a driving nice tractor was left for dead in a flower bed, but it's not mine anymore, so whatever. But I don't know. I'm not a Deere collector, but there are some models that I wouldn't mind to have just because I think they're neat. I guess I wouldn't mind to have the whole letter series by the time this is done of the later variety, so that they're all similar. But and then of course like a 720 diesel, 730 diesel. I wouldn't mind to have either one of those. Just something different. But 435 diesel, that's the little Detroit 2-cylinder. That's kind of neat. But yeah, back to the G. All right, G. Oh, I took it checking fences yesterday again, so it's covered with more mud than before, but that's fine. Another thing that we got in the mail, I guess before we get off of the topic of headlights, if I didn't say that before, I do have original style headlights coming. So when they get here, and then my new clamps get here, we'll be able to start in. And when my dash gets here, my dash has not showed up yet, and that's kind of frustrating because I ordered it like the first day, and then it sure would be nice to get that so we could proceed with taking that all apart. See, this is why I decided just buy a different dash. It's pretty rough. And then we need to just do some cosmetic stuff. We're going to be working on this clutch, I would say, or at least adjusting it, because it sounds like it's kind of getting not gooder. But I did find a PTO shield that's supposed to fit. However, our cast piece is broken, so I'm hoping that 3 out of 4 will do the thing. I believe these are 5/16. And see, originally they would have had these clutch head bolts, and I did buy a bunch of those back when I did that B. I bought a whole bunch of brand new ones, but I don't know what I would have done with those. I'll give it a quick look here whilst I hunt up fasteners anyway. But we need to get us some 5/16 bolts, and then what'll happen, if you're not able to visualize this, that's going to go spring loaded up, and it will just live in there, and then this will be on there like such. Those old tractors, the first ones, I say old tractors, but tractors that first, you know, were coming out with PTOs, they seem to like to have 2 PTO covers, like one spring loaded like that, and then one like this holding it back. This Olivers are that way, like the 60 is that same way. I don't know why. Maybe Maybe somebody made a law for a few years there and said that was the thing to do. I don't know. But I do know that I much prefer this. Plus, that makes it look complete. I'm a big believer in, you know, making stuff look complete. If it's supposed to have it, put it on. The tractor looks so much better, any tractor for that matter. They look so much better when they have all the pieces that they're supposed to have. When you have something missing and then you think, oh, that's no big deal. Well, then something else falls off or whatever. And it just piles up till you finally have a cobbled up mess. So I much prefer, you know, that's my kind of my step one. Dragging home these hulks, get them on 4 wheels, and then start accumulating all the pieces that they're supposed to have and making that happen. So anyway, let me grab some bolts, whether they're the correct kind or whether they're just some regular ones, and we're going to slap this PTO shield on here and see how that works, if it's going to hold. If it looks like it's not, we'll probably leave it anyway, and then I'll go on the search for a new cast jobby. But I don't know, we'll see. All right, friends, I thought, since this is a YouTube tractor, why not use the bolts from a YouTube viewer? Viewer Greg sent us a box of 5/16 and a box of 3/8 bolts way back when, and so we're going to use some of those now. Another thing I should say, I guess, is like I approached this project slightly differently than I did like with that B. The reasoning being, I have no sentimental attachment to this tractor, you see. So I've just been firing the parts cannon at it. If something looks like crap, I just go ahead and replace it. Like, I will probably buy a new battery box because it's rusted out on both sides. Could I fix that one? Absolutely, but I would just rather not waste my time and just put a different one on. If it was the B, I would fix it, because that's the one that my great-grandpa and my grandpa and his brother and my dad and everybody has had their hands on or touched, you know. And I think about that stuff. It's like memories, you know. Now the phone's ringing, so all right, that was a good phone call, because that was the guy that sells the garden tractor grills and stuff, and he's got all the parts that I wanted. So he's gonna get them from the, I think he's got a new batch of grills being made, and when he gets that from the shop, then he will send it out. So that's good. But as I was saying, I don't know, tractors that are like family tractors, I struggle with replacing parts, because that's not the parts that the relatives had their hands on, you know. So I don't know. This one I got no attachment to, so I'll replace anything on it and not look, you know, blink twice. So I guess that's sad for whoever's family tractor this was, but they obviously didn't love it enough to keep it, so I'm gonna do what I want, you know. That also makes it worth more, in my opinion, when it's nice and not all cobbled up. So, because this may be one that ends up getting sold someday, you know. But I think that one's, yeah, that battery box is rusted out there, but that's neither here nor there. That's just another thing on my list to get for it. Another thing is a toolbox. I've been annoyed every day that this thing doesn't have a toolbox in it. Where am I going to put all the junk that I accumulate and want to throw someplace if I don't have a toolbox? So that's what we're going to do. But whatever, back to the PTO saga. We need to get our little deal here. Our one clutch headed bolt we need to get out of there. And we probably won't be able to hold it with what we got. Maybe we will. You never know. There we go. Actually, that worked. These aren't bad when they're new, but boy, when that thing wears out, you got a bad problem. You can't, you're not going to get that out very easy. Okay, now we're going to struggle probably, and we're probably going to find out that there's a serial number break and we got the wrong one or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. Boy, that doesn't... Huh. Maybe this one really needed 3/8 bolts. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's 5/16. Because I'm pretty sure that other one is the same way. It has the clutch-headed bolts to do the thing. I'm just now also realizing that this is kind of difficult to get that started with it in there like that. Huh. Interesting. I was also thinking that the well, I'm thinking I'm a moron because I brought lock washers and then I didn't even get them put onto that. So why don't we put one on the one that has that the hole is broken, you know? Why don't we do that? My brain was thinking about, like, I thought that the other one held it up more like this, but I mean, whatever, that works. It's just one of those things, friends, where you're puzzling over how did they make it and why. We are gonna get it, friends. There's no tractor smarter than us. Come on. Now, there might be the problem of our fatness being a hindrance, but other than that. Also, I didn't paint this shield. It came like this, so for now, it's going on just like it is. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I am gonna drop my tools though. I haven't done that for a few minutes, so we're gonna keep dropping stuff. I like dropping stuff, you know. Why not, friends? Why not? By ratchet a wrench, not gonna ratchet. Simply give it a tap. That fixes them right up. That's probably not a good idea to stick the ratchet end in there. Oh my goodness. Come on. Come on, we're struggle bussing. Now, we don't need to be doing that. That's fine. All right. Okay. That went better than expected. That's on there nice. That thing didn't affect us at all. And that looks good. Other things that Ross needs to get for this are, there's supposed to be a lever on here somehow that you use and it pulls these out, which then releases your plugs. And I don't have that anymore, so that is going to need attention at some point. And then there was a holder that would bolt here to hold the dummy plugs when you put something else in. I guess I could take it or leave it on that. I don't know if I might have an extra one of those, because I might have bought one for that bee and then didn't use it, or had one already, or found the original. I don't know. I have to look. But I don't know. We're just plugging away at it, making it a little bit more appropriate every time we go, friends. So I will be really excited when we get the dash, so that we can start making this better, the wiring. And then that's when we'll mess with the fuel lines too, and we'll get all that the way it's supposed to be, sort out the horrendous wiring. I mean, it's working by being twisted together, friends. You see that shamefulness? So we definitely need to do that thing. I'm looking at I made a boo-boo, friends, and I hope it didn't overflow. No, did I? No, I didn't. I had it shut off. I was thinking for a minute I didn't have the fuel shut off, but I did. I get into the habit of that on every tractor, because especially on these, fuel tank's hard in the carburetor. If the float sticks, it'll overflow, go right down in there, and it'll ruin your oil. It'll fill her up. Now, whilst we're here, let's investigate another problem, because I have people all the time harping on me, and they don't understand why I'm doing the stuff that I'm doing. Let me get the thinking stool so I can sit down and be mad at you instead of doing it standing up, you know. People have been harping on me saying, look at that, there's another inch you could tighten that belt up. You don't even need a belt. You could just tighten that belt up. You don't need a belt. Well, for A, this belt is about wore in two. There is not much left about it that could be classified as belt. Number B, normally a voltage regulator is mounted to the generator, and that's the correct way. What they did on this, they welded this plate to the back of the bracket, so it is forever in that position. So that is physically as high as I can go. You can see the screw hitting the bottom of that plate. I cannot adjust this any tighter till I break this off. You see what I'm talking about? So that's going to happen eventually, but we're also going to just go ahead and, you know, get an appropriate belt, friends, aren't we? If I take it apart, then I'll be forced to do it, see? I should also force myself to fix that water leak, because that is getting horrendous. I mean, it's dripping the whole time. And I think the only thing wrong is either the hose or the tightness of the clamp. Maybe we need to, maybe before we do anything with the generator, we really need to, well, I don't have the tools in my hand, so I guess not. Get a 5/16 on there maybe, and just give that a little tug and see if it doesn't make it better. It'll probably make it so much worse, and then I'll regret my life choices and wish I hadn't done that. But $5/16, where are you? Is that the size? It should be. Did you have fun in the dirt thinking about what you've done? I hope so. Let's just give that a little bit of a... Oh no, that's super tight already. Okay, that's gonna need more attention, I'm afraid. This one, I think we're gonna need to, I mean, it looks dry up higher. So it's obviously, it is only leaking out of that hose. The hose is the culprit. Why? I don't know. Now maybe underneath the hose we will find bad sadness, and we will find that it's rotted out. But that's crap, friends, that's leaking. I could try to move the hose clamp up. That's a dangerous game, isn't it? Move the clamp up towards the edge. I don't know. I don't know what we want to do, but I know it's frustrating because that's been dripping this whole time, and it's only because of that. I mean, nothing else is leaking. Surprisingly enough, you would think that the areas that are slathered together with silicone would be prone to failure, but they're not. All right, let's go back to this side sack. See, we're gonna have to address the elephant in the room at some point, because we're gonna put this back the right way. I would say that it's probably not charging the battery. That's just my, that's just a feeling that I have. So what I'm getting at is, perhaps it wouldn't hurt to just cut all the wiring off of it and be done with that for now, and then get the correct stuff set up. get the correct regulator that actually mounts to this. Maybe we need to just order a rebuilt generator to make sure it really is 12 volts, because I can't read that tag anymore. And I know that you can make a 6 volt do 12 volt things, but I don't really know what we've got going here. I probably should just take that bolt all the way off so I can there. See how much more we have? Look at how far it was maxed out, friends. And people were still harping on me saying I could have went more. The ground wire's tight when it's there, but that's fine. I could take probably an easy inch out of that belt. But the other problem we got is, the other problem, friends, we have is that this being so wore, it's not going to give us an accurate measurement when we go to measuring, because this is pulled farther down in the groove than your new belt is going to be. So it's going to be very, very much not the thing. Very much not the thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. Let's I don't want to cut it, because then we're hosed. I would like to get a baseline reading of it though. See how easy we can get it out of there. Should be pretty easy because it's a lot thinner than anything else. Let's get it out of there. Let's take it to a tape measure. Let's see what it measures. And then, before we buy a new one, let's look at my supply of stuff. Because I've got belts. I've also got, I don't remember where those are, but somewhere I've got a whole pile of belts somebody gave me of brand new V-belts and things. So, let's see what this measures, and then we'll subtract an inch and see if that does the thing for us. All right, the stash of belts is pretty thin. I mean, and they're not new belts either, so we're gonna try this one. It's shorter, probably by too much, but I thought maybe that would buy us some time. Then I could take the other one with me to town. Well, I don't really need to. I know how long it has to be. It measured to be 45 1/4. And the factory belt shows in the book, I think, that it's supposed to be 44 3/4, which isn't a lot of difference. But, yeah, see, this is just going to be not enough. This one, though, is quite a bit shorter, I think. So, what I'll do is I'll just grab a whole pile of belts and bring them home with me. And then I'll take back the ones that aren't the one. Because that ain't gonna work, friends. That ain't gonna work. We gotta have a good belt. And it deserves a new belt. I just thought if I had an old one here, that would let us be, it would be sitting here still usable instead of not like it is going to be now. But I'm gonna get belts in the 44-inch range, I guess. I guess I could go to Deere and pay for an original because, you know, look, it's all original components. There's no reason why that wouldn't work. But I feel like I would like the shortest belt possible, you know. Why should I limit myself? Because they always get longer, they never get shorter. Obviously, that's been oiled many times in its life. Although I don't know how did they expect you to oil it, because the oiler is upside down in this application. I'm betting that this probably is not the generator that was on here, maybe. Or conversely, I wonder if it's just in such a way that because they welded this up here. I wonder if this was supposed to be up and tensioning down. I don't know. It's more out of the way like it is here, but it does to me seem odd that that's not usually the configuration you see them in. So I don't know what to tell you, friends. I guess I could look at the book and see what it shows, but whatever. This one will work. It just needs to be probably flipped up and oiled first, and then whoops, we broke our beautiful ground wire here. We broke it off. Oh no. Well, we do. This has been broke at one point back here. Just taking it all in, friends, because there's a lot to take in. Also notice that fancy carriage bolt. If you haven't got the right bolt, carriage bolt, it'll work. It's got bolt in the name. There's no reason why that won't work. Interesting. I'm gonna look one more place. Maybe I have more belts, but I don't know. I'm just gonna peruse and see what I got. Friends, this inept squirrel might have just found an acorn. Look at this beautiful belt. And it measures 44 1/8. That's right in our target range. This came from a friend when I bought out a bunch of parts that he had, and he had a whole wad of belts. And this one looks like it could be new-ish and new old stock. I don't know. Don't care. If this would do the thing, this would be wonderful, because it would not only use up something on the shelf that we saved for another day, but it would fix it. Come on, little buddy. Go around the water pump. Oh man, that is so close. I bet it would go on there, wouldn't it? I wonder if I took this all the way out, got the belt on, and then put it back. I wonder if that would do the thing, you know? Come on, baby doll. Boy, everything on this thing has been cobbled. That generator looks like they drilled that out at one time, and oh, this isn't gonna work. It's gonna be just barely not enough. Boo. But that does show me the fact that the parts book must be right. It needs to be 44 3/4, because you can't physically get anything shorter on there. So that's okay. I mean, we'll put this belt on the shelf for another day. I got it more there in that pile, though. I guess I could go try to measure some more and see, because he had a whole pile of them taped together. Some of them are not as new as others, but we're learning. We did learn a valuable bit of information on that. We know where to start. We know what doesn't fit. So now we don't have to bring that home, because I would have brought a 44, and I would have brought this one, and I would have brought whatever else I ran across, hoping that I found the right thing. So it's cool. It's cool. Give me a minute, I'll be back. Oh, friends, all these belts, they're mocking me. They're within like a fraction of what they should be. I found this green one. It's way too long, but I was able to bend this plate up for now and get it on there, and it's better than the other one. So we're gonna roll with that until I get the correct belt, which should be 44 3/4. So I'll bring that one, and then I'll bring one that's 45 and whatever, and we'll try to get one. This belt is actually, that's on there now, actually says it's 47, but I think because of the fact that it's actually thicker than the one I took off, it's actually fitting about where the other one was because it's up to the top of the groove. It's not bottomed out all the way down in there. I don't know, but it's gonna work for now. That'll buy us some time until I remember to get the correct one. I'll just get the correct one, and then when we start tackling all that wiring nonsense, that's when we'll make it the way that it should be. So that's that. Now, is that enough for a video? I don't know. I used up a whole battery of the camera, but there's usually a lot of nonsense, you know? A lot of weeping and scratching of heads and that sort of thing. So I would like to discover what is in this tire. So I'm supposing I'm going to do that next, but I got to go get the impact, which I believe I put back in the pickup, because why not? Why not do that? Why not put stuff away when you're in the middle of working on things? That's just how life rolls. So let me do that, and I'll bring you back. Do you suffer from low intelligence and are easily entertained? Well, then hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment. And that way we can keep making entertainment that your feeble minds can understand. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.